Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Wi-Fi battle. Today we have week 4 of the NGDL3 versus OminousAcid. He is a YouTuber, so I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the video description so you guys can check that out afterwards. And he is actually the guy who made most of the logos for the league, including my own, so that's pretty cool. And looking at his team, there were actually a couple things here that took me by surprise, knowing his full draft lineup, and that was the fact that he chose not to bring both his Frostlass and his Noivern. I was expecting to see both of those, but you will also notice about his team is that he does have Arceus on there. That is a Pokemon that is legal in the Draft League tournament here, and he did draft it, so that is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with there. Looking at my team, I did make one notable change here, and that's that I decided to make my first transaction in the league this week, which was to drop Vileplume for Trevenant. And I did that just because I felt that Vileplume wasn't really doing too much for the team, so I felt that Trevenant would do a better job than that. So going into this match, I am 1-2 as my opponent is actually 3-0. So it should definitely be another good one, and we're going to get into it. So, looking at his team, I really wasn't sure what he was going to want to lead with here, as he actually ends up leading with the Silvally. I decided to lead with my Talonflame. So, I am definitely going to outspeed this thing turn 1. I am just going to go straight for a U-turn to get some chip damage, and of course the mandatory switch. So, off of that, I am going to come in with my Raikou, not exactly knowing which Silvally type this is yet. My pressure is going to come into play here as he does go for a Rock Slide, hoping I would stay in. So that is actually going to take me down by about a quarter with a critical hit, which was still not too bad. So unfortunately, this turn I find out that he is actually the ground type Silvally, which means I do have to switch out here once again. And I am going to come in with my Trevenant, predicting the ground attack as he does go for the multi-attack type ground. Not going to do much of anything to me there. And then this turn, he is actually going to go for a Parting Shot, which is going to lower my attack and special attack stats, and of course give him the mandatory switch. And off of that, he is going to come in with the Luxray, as I actually decided to just go for a substitute to get that set up on him. So this turn, he is going to go straight for a Crunch, which is obviously going to be more than enough to break my substitute. And I just decided to go for a Drain Punch in return to get some damage on him and regain some HP. Unfortunately, because of the attack drop, not going to do much damage there, and I'm only going to regain a little bit of HP from that. So this turn I do have to switch out. I don't want to lose my Trevenant to another Crunch, so I'm going to come in with my Aggron, predicting that, but he actually makes a nice play and goes for the Volt Switch instead, which is going to take me down by about a third, and off the mandatory switch, he is going to come back in with the Silvally. So unfortunately, again, that is going to force me to switch out here. I don't want to take an attack from this thing with the Aggron, so I am going to come back in with the Trevenant as he actually goes for the Parting Shot once again to get that attack and special attack drop, and of course the mandatory switch. So off of that, he is going to come in with the Gardevoir this time. And he is going to go ahead and trace my Harvest. Not really going to matter though, since he isn't holding a berry, because he is going to go for the Mega Evolution this turn into Mega Gardevoir. And I decided to stay in here because I knew that I really couldn't just keep switching. So he is going to go for the Hyper Voice here, and unfortunately that is going to be enough to take out my Trevenant and drop me down to 5 Pokemon. So then I'm going to come in with Alakazam, and that is going to force him to switch. He doesn't want to get taken out with a Ghost attack, so he is going to come in with the Necrozma, as I actually just decided to go for a Toxic, and I am going to land that to badly poison him. So he is then going to take some damage from the poison. So this turn, I'm actually going to go for a taunt here, predicting him to want to go for a setup move, since these things normally do want to do that. But he makes another nice play here and actually just goes straight for the knockoff instead, which was really unfortunate. That is going to drop me all the way to my focus sash, but I do survive, and then he is going to take more damage from the poison. So this turn I am just going to go for the Shadow Ball, trying to get as much damage as possible before I go down. That does knock him down to a little above half, and I do get the special defense drop, which was nice, but he is just going to go for one more knockoff, and that is going to be more than enough to finish off my Alakazam, dropping me down to 4 Pokemon. So really not a great start to the match for me, as he does take more damage from the poison. So I am going to go ahead and come in with my Talonflame once again to try and turn this around. I am just going to go for another U-turn, and I am Choice Banded, so that is definitely going to be enough after the Rocky Helmet damage to finish off the Necrozma, dropping him down to 5 Pokemon. And of course, I do get another mandatory switch, so off of that, I am going to come in with my Raikou once again, and my pressure is going to come back into play. So then he is going to come in with Camerupt, and unfortunately, that is going to force me to switch out once again. I don't want to take an attack from this thing, so I'm going to come in with my Goodra, predicting a special attack of some kind, as he actually just goes for the substitute instead to get that set up on me. So this turn I am definitely going to outspeed him. I am just going to go for an Ice Beam, because I know it will definitely break the substitute, which indeed it does. And he is going to fire off an Earth Power in return, which isn't going to do much of anything to me. I am max special defense with an Assault Vest. And then this turn I am just going to go straight for the Draco Meteor, trying to take him out. And fortunately, that is going to be enough damage to take out the Camerupt and drop him down to 4 Pokemon, as I do get my special attack harshly lowered off of that. So now he is going to come in with Arceus, but he actually decides to double switch here, probably predicting a switch on my side. So he is going to switch back into the Luxray here, as I just decided to stay in and go for another Draco Meteor, not wanting the Arceus to go for a setup move freely. So unfortunately at -2, that is not going to do much of anything to this Luxray, and now I am at -4. So I have no choice but to switch out here, and I am going to come back in with the Raikou, as my pressure is going to come back into play. He is just going to go for another Volt Switch, which is not going to do much of any damage, but he is going to get another mandatory switch. And off of that, he is going to come back in with the Silvally. So here I decide to make a risky play and stay in and go for the Hidden Power Ice. I am Choice Specs, so I know it'll do a lot of damage. It does knock him down to about a quarter, but here he actually goes for the Rock Slide in return, probably predicting a switch on my side. So that is going to leave me at about a third of my health, and then I am just going to be able to go for one more Hidden Power Ice, which is going to be more than enough to finish off the Silvally, dropping him down to 3 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with the Arceus, and he is going to decide to go for the Swords Dance this time around to get that +2 attack, trying to set up for a potential sweep. I did stay in and go for another Hidden Power Ice, trying to chip this thing away, but unfortunately that only takes him down by about a quarter. So this turn I have no choice but to switch out, and I am going to come back in with my Aggron, as he does go for another Swords Dance. So now he is sitting at +4 attack, which is definitely very intimidating, definitely poised to try and sweep me here. So all I can really do is go for the Mega Evolution into Mega Aggron and kind of hope for the best. He is actually going to go for the Fire Blast here, which was a pretty big surprise, but luckily I am able to survive that in the red with 13 health thanks to my Filter ability, and I am going to go for a Superpower in return, which I actually do get a crit, amazingly enough, which is going to be enough to take this Arceus out and drop him down to 2 Pokemon. That crit definitely did matter, but that was great timing on my side to have that happen. So then he is just going to come in with the Luxray, go for the Wild Charge, and that is going to be more than enough to finish off my Aggron, dropping me to 3 Pokemon, but more than worth it. Aggron more than did its job getting rid of that Arceus there. So then I am going to come back in with the Raikou, and I am going to outspeed this thing, go for a Shadow Ball and knock this thing down to about a quarter health. I do get a special defense drop, which was nice, but he is going to go for a Wild Charge in return, which actually takes me down to 6 HP with a crit, but I do survive that, which was nice. That is going to allow me to go for one more Shadow Ball, which is definitely going to be enough to finish off the Luxray, dropping him down to just one Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with Gardevoir. And I am actually going to outspeed this thing as well, so I am just going to keep going for the Shadow Ball. I am choice specs locked into it anyway, so that is going to take him down to about a quarter health, but he does survive and actually goes for the Trick Room, which was another big surprise there. That is going to make all of the slower Pokemon move first for a few turns, so this turn he is going to outspeed me, go for the Hyper Voice, and that is going to be more than enough to finish off my Raikou, dropping me down to 2 Pokemon. But that should be okay. I am just going to come in with my Talonflame, and I am going to go for a quick attack here. I am choice banded, so I'm hoping to take this thing out, but he actually does survive that in the red, which was unfortunate, but he does go for a Hyper Voice, which I am fortunately able to survive with about a quarter of my health, and that is going to let me go for one more quick attack, which will be more than enough to finish off the Gardevoir, and that is game. So I won that one 2-0 against OminousAcid, but that was a really good game. Very close, very competitive. Definitely could have gone either way. But thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and/or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.